come in, sir. Come in, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Everything fine?
Yes, sir.
This morning?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sit back in a relaxed way.
Thank you, sir.
We are going to enjoy for 30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
You had your breakfast?
Yes, sir.
Good. What did you have for breakfast?
So I have 2 slices of brown bread and tea.
And what is your favorite food breakfast?
So my favorite breakfast, actually my mother tried different dishes, so I like enjoying with my family.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Favorite breakfast is what your mother does.
Yes.
Great. Okay. One thing I'm sure is you must be coming across this rather repeatedly, that just by looking at your name, people think she is a girl
Yes, sir.
and call you or talk to you
Yes, sir.
to find out. No. How do you feel then?
So yes, sir, there has been confusion in the past, but it has a positive side as well, that people remember your name for quite a long time. Due to popularity of the actress, it has become prominent. This name has become prominent among female candidates. But my pronunciation is Aishwarya.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Actually, in Marathi literature, there is a reverse case of a male poet
Yes, sir.
whose poems were not published, and he sent the same poems with a woman's name.
Okay.
They were immediately published. See, what does it mean?
Sir, maybe due to the marketing techniques were comparatively better, or people thinking that a woman coming out to express her view through books, they might be more curious about knowing. That could be one of the reason.
When we talk later on, I may share his name with you. He is, according to me, among the all-time great poets of all languages in the world history.
Okay, sir.
By the way, there is also another writer whose name it sounded like a woman's name.
Yes, sir.
Writer in Marathi. That also let us enjoy later on.
Yes, sir.
It so happens that your birth date also has a certain social significance.
Yes, sir.
You are ready with it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, it is being celebrated as International Women's Day.
Right. Since when?
Sir, first Women's Day was celebrated during 1906 in United States, but it was formalized in 1976 in United Nations.
Right. And why is 8th of March International Women's Day?
Sir, the founder of the International Women's Day, Miss Eva, she used this day to commemorate, to celebrate her in remembrance of her mother. So this day was going by the previous tradition. This date was further accepted by the United Nations as well.
Since that is what Wikipedia says, right?
Sir, there are other sources as well. It is also given on a United States website regarding history of the International Women's Day. And
later on, at a point of time, there was International Women's Year. You remember?
Yes, sir. So in 1975, when the first Women's Conference, International Women's Conference took place, that was International Women's Year.
Decade?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware about the decade.
And something called Beijing Declaration.
Yes, sir. Beijing Declaration was, I think, 4th Women's Conference in 1995. That was last among the one of the 4 International Women Conferences.
I have sensed, and that is also what many thinkers argue, that there is a direct link between feminine sensibilities and sensitivity towards climate change. There are many thinkers who actually argue that sensitivity towards climate change is a feminine attribute. What do you think?
Sir, maybe it can be attributed the fact that in general it is believed that women are more caring. So in general, that caring nature should also be carried forward towards the nature and the environment. That I think that this statement would have indicated.
This whatever is attitude that gets summarized in the term Mother Earth, is that a possible solution to the problem of climate change?
Yes, sir. It can be one of the component in awareness generation, to reach each and every nook and corner of the earth, because when we associate our nature with
even awareness,
yes,
direct effective action regarding climate change. Build the attitude that all of us live on what we call as, even we Indians call this Mother Earth, right?
Yes, sir.
हमारे लिए ये धरती माता है.
Yes, sir.
Will this attitude help us deal with the question of climate change?
Yes, sir. I think it will definitely help, because when we associate our nature, our earth with the term mother, then there is an urge to protect it also. So I think by appealing our mother earth as our mother, the people can more actively pursue the target towards amelioration of climate change.
Fine. My best wishes for you, of course.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll talk to you.
How are you, Aishwarya?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you.
To carry on with the discussion on women, what is gender mainstreaming in policies?
Pardon, ma'am?
Gender mainstreaming. What does it mean when we talk about gender mainstreaming?
Ma'am, it means that to keep gender perspective in mind while formulating the policies, and keep them at the forefront of policy making or execution.
Why is it required? Why do we need specifically to be conscious of gender issues while formulating policies?
Yes, ma'am. There are many issues in which women has to face the majority of the brunt. For example, in terms of poverty, in terms of the climate change that we are talking about, the major issue is being faced by women also. So they are somewhat lacking in the social indicators at many places, due to which it becomes more important for us to pursue our goal in such a way that they can come forward and contribute to our socio-economic society.
Is there still discrimination against women in official policies? In many countries, I'm not talking about India.
Yes, ma'am. There are some instances.
You belong to UP and you've studied in Uttarakhand.
Ma'am, I was born in Madhya Pradesh. I studied in Uttarakhand, and I am presently living in Bareilly.
In Bareilly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you follow what's going on in Uttarakhand?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are, for the last few years, there have been a lot of forest fires in Uttarakhand.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the reason, and what impact is it having?
Ma'am, first and foremost is the climate change, and during the dry seasons, when the Uttarakhand has a significant forest cover, during the dry season, when the leaves become dry, they are more prone to fires. Apart from this, there are some anthropogenic reasons as well, that many mafias are also involved in burning of the forest, so then the land can be cleared and can be used for other purposes. These are some of the reasons due to which forest fires have become prominent in Uttarakhand.
Okay. Is Uttarakhand also facing man-animal conflicts?
Yes, ma'am. To some extent, it is facing, with primarily being leopard being infiltrating the villages in many places. There has been many instances.
Has government done anything in this regard?
Yes, ma'am. Government has taken many steps. For example, the snow leopard program is actively running in Uttarakhand. Apart from this, Uttarakhand has some major national parks as well. For example, Rajaji National Park, Jim Corbett National Park. They have taken such steps to curb such conflicts.
Okay, moving away from Uttarakhand a bit, tell me what is ODA in the foreign policy context?
Yes, ma'am. It means official development assistance. This is being given in context of Japanese investment in India. This was given in the form of investment in the DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, to fund various investment projects.
The Japanese investment and assistance is different, no? Because when you do investments, you expect returns.
Yes, ma'am.
But assistance is generally just grant, or at the most loans at very
low interest. Yes, ma'am.
So does India give ODA to any country? Does it have a ODA program?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not aware of what exact provision.
Have you heard of India giving capacity building and technical assistance programs
Yes,
to
ma'am.
other countries?
Yes,
other
ma'am.
developing countries?
India has a program called ITEC, Indian Technical and Education Cooperation. A majority of the beneficiaries, the African countries. India has involved in the technical capacity building of these nations.
How old is ITEC?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not aware.
Okay. You have heard of something called BBIN? BBIN?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
It is Bhutan, Bangladesh, India and Nepal transport corridor that is being talked about to link these countries so that the trade can increase between these nations and the connectivity can be swift.
Okay. So besides trade, if there is better movement between these countries, what other aspect of a relationship is, is encouraged?
Ma'am, first of all, it will lead to better integration in the south between the South Asian country. All the 4 members are very prominent members of the South Asian nation. Apart from this, India's soft power diplomacy, in which India is actively pursuing nowadays with the Buddhist circuit, that can also get enhanced. It can also help in the connectivity to the northeast by going via Bhutan and Bangladesh. It can also help in our connectivity to the northeast.
Okay. It will also help in people to people
interaction. Yes, ma'am.
Interaction. So India has, one of the major pillars of India's foreign policy is neighborhood first.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
think overall it has been a successful policy?
Yes, ma'am, I think it's a success because apart from the 2 neighbors, India has been able to make good relations with the rest of the neighbor and has helped them whenever they require.
You mentioned 2 neighbors. Who are they?
Ma'am, Pakistan and China.
Okay.
For example, we have seen in the recent Sri Lankan crisis that India has actively pursued in the form of credit line and other help to Sri Lanka. So I think to some extent that India has been successful, but there are some areas where India needs to work more.
But just give just one example before we went.
Ma'am, one is that China has been aggressively pursuing these countries through its checkbook diplomacy. Since India has limited economic capacity as compared to this, India should also try on other fronts to gain the goodwill and the big brother attitude that is being talked about in the context of India. This image should improve and they all should come at parity. That will help in better trust building.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
AISHWARYA.
Yes, sir.
You were born at Mandsaur.
Yes, sir. That is my birth. My father was posted during those days.
Great. Why is Mandsaur used often? What it is famous for?
Sir, it is famous for Lord Shiva temple called Pashupati Nath. It is the only temple in India with only parallel being in Nepal. That was it is famous for. It was recently in news due to many farmers' suicide as well.
Sometimes linked with poppy cultivation also.
Yes, sir. Mandsaur is one of the 3 cities where the opium cultivation is legal in India.
Yeah. You passed electrical engineering in 2017.
Yes, sir.
Since then, are you preparing only for civil services examination or doing something else also?
Sir, till now I have been preparing for civil services examination only.
Okay. Your institute was at Palkanagar.
Yes, sir.
Palkanagar is named after who?
Sir, it is named after its founder Govind Vallabh Pant.
Who was Govind Vallabh Pant?
Sir, he was a prominent freedom fighter. He was also the Home Minister of India and the first Chief Minister of United Province. He was also a recipient of Bharat Ratna.
Pantnagar is at the base of Kumail Hills.
Yes, sir.
Right? What is difference geographically between Kumail Hills and Garhwal Hills?
Sir, Kumaon Hills are comparatively higher as compared to Garhwal Hills, with some of the prominent peaks being Nanda Devi and Kamet peaks, whereas the valley part, the Doon part, is generally associated with the areas of Garhwal. For example, Dehradun is one prominent such valley. These are the difference between.
In terms of disasters,
Yes, sir.
of late, during past 1 decade, disasters have been happening in Kumail Hills as well as Garhwal Hills. For example, Kedarnath.
Yes, sir.
Why Kedarnath disaster happened?
So Kedarnath disaster has been attributed to two reasons. One is due to cloudburst, excessive downpour of water during a very short span of time. Apart from this, glacial lake outburst flood was also one of the reasons that the glaciers has melted and the Moraine Dam wall that collapsed, due to which sudden downpour of water also happened. Due to this reason, that was such a huge disaster.
Last year also there was huge deluge at Wells.
Yes, sir.
Which resulted into disruption of life at Haldwani.
Yes, sir.
What was the reason?
Sir, that was the urban floods that happened in these regions. That was apart from the sudden downpour of water due to rainfall, it was also due to some anthropogenic reason as well. There was mismanaged with respect to the storage of water in dam. So the sudden flow of water through dam led to the submergence of these area. For around 3 to 4 days, there were quite difficulties in this area.
Which earthquake zone entire Uttarakhand district falls in?
Sir, entire Uttarakhand does not fall into a particular earthquake zone, but the northern areas which is attached to Himalayas form in zone 4 of Uttarakhand earthquake.
Was it a good decision to construct Tehri Dam in zone 4?
Sir, Tehri Dam was a necessity because Uttarakhand per se does not have any resources like coal for its power generation, and for development it was a necessity. Tehri Dam presently provides electricity to majority of Uttarakhand areas. So yes, sir, it was a necessity, and proper environmental impact assessment was also done for the same. So I think yes, sir, it was a good decision as far as economic development was concerned.
Coming to power generation,
yes,
what percentage of power is generated through renewable sources of energy in the country?
So presently it is 39% if I include hydropower as well.
Which are the new components of renewable energy?
So one is solar energy, that is the largest component in the renewable energy. Then it is wind energy, followed by sir, there are some on biogas and the tidal energy. These are also geothermal energy. These are all the components of renewable energy.
Many countries in West depend on nuclear power plants.
Yes, sir.
Why we don't do that? We in India,
yes, sir,
don't promote nuclear power plants.
Sir, I would differ on this one, that we are pursuing our nuclear power generation capacity as well, but presently we are short of some technological developments. We have a 3-stage nuclear project envisaged for the nuclear power generation. I think we are focusing on nuclear, but presently due to technological constraints, the capacity is not up to the mark. Presently it is only 2%, but it needs to be increased, sir.
Okay. What is political geography of Ukraine-Russia conflict?
Sir, Russia per se does not have any warm port, and Ukraine has a huge access to Black Sea. This is one of the reasons that conflict is there. The annexation of the Crimean Peninsula was also due to this particular reason. Apart from that, Ukraine is a crucial link between Russia and the Western countries. Like for example, NATO has come to the doorsteps of Ukraine, which can be a security threat for Russia as well. And in geography, there has been some old policies that Russia is a part of heartland, and whoever controls this heartland will rule the world. Such policies are even valid today as well, and Russia also trying to exert its pressure through annexing Ukraine.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, sedition law was in use.
Yes, sir.
What is sedition law and why it was in use yesterday?
So sedition refers to an inciting hatred against the government by way of speaking, writing, or any other representation. It was in news due to the question is being posed that whether section 124 of IPC, which criminalizes sedition, should be removed or not. This was the Supreme Court was examining this, but it has presently put it on stay because government has specified it that they are reconsidering this law. So today also Supreme Court has yesterday also Supreme Court has said that presently they are staying all the cases till government reconsiders this law.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I will ask you certain locations.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a geography student. Where is Rakhi Gadi located?
Ma'am, it is located in Haryana.
Where?
Sorry, ma'am, I am not aware of exact place.
Nathula Pass connects Tibet with which Indian state?
Ma'am, Sikkim.
The largest mangrove forest in the world lies in eastern India. Where is it? What is it called?
It is called as Sundarbans. It is located in West
Which
Bengal.
river? The river Salgu runs by which historical city?
Ma'am, it passes through Ayodhya. The river.
Why Varanasi is called Varanasi?
Sorry, ma'am, I am not aware of this thing.
Two rivers. Name is on two rivers.
Yes.
Let's go ahead. Why Madhya Pradesh is in news today in all the newspapers? Do you read news?
Yes, ma'am.
Which newspaper do you read?
Ma'am, the Hindu and the Indian Express.
Good. What was the reason for Madhya Pradesh being in news?
Sorry, ma'am, I am not aware
Check
of
it.
today. Yes, ma'am. I'll read
Taj Mahal petition. Taj Mahal petition.
petition.
It will be heard today in Allahabad High Court. What is that petition about?
Sorry, ma'am, I am not aware of this thing.
It's in news for quite some time. Think about it. Taj Mahal controversy.
Sorry, ma'am, I am not able to recall.
Let's move ahead. In Parliament,
Yes, ma'am.
what is start question?
Ma'am,
Start
yes,
questions
ma'am.
are asked in Parliament,
Yes, ma'am.
even in state legislatures.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, start questions are the questions that are being posed to members of parliament, which requires an oral answer, and follow-up questions can be asked.
Supplementary.
Yes, ma'am.
And what are unstart questions?
Ma'am, in this a written explanation is required and no follow-up question can be asked.
And the short notice question?
In which the notice is for less than 14 days, I think, ma'am.
15 days. And what is the, I mean, why can one ask shortly? What is the reason behind it? And you have the facility of start and unstart, and why the short notice?
I think that it is due to when we ought to discuss some matter of urgency and the time frame is limited, then we can resort to such tools of parliament.
India is going to conduct elections for 2 constitutional positions.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the process and what are the positions?
Ma'am, the positions are, one is of president and vice president. These elections are due. The elections of president are conducted by through electoral college consisting of elected members of parliament as well as member of legislative assembly. And in case of vice president, I am not able to recall.
There are 2 keywords in this.
Yes, ma'am.
And we go through that.
Yes, ma'am. I'll read more.
Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Who built Jama Masjid?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not
It's on
aware.
UP.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My last question to you is then, a senior police officer have been removed yesterday and he belongs to UP. What's his name? If you don't remember the name, it's okay. Why he has been removed?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not aware.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Morning, actually. How are
Good
you?
morning, sir. I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
So you took geography as your optional.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by net zero emission?
Sir, net zero emission is a scenario in which a country is not the net emission of the carbon dioxide is zero, because the amount of the carbon dioxide that it releases through various activity, the more amount of carbon dioxide is being absorbed by it through other means, so the overall net emission comes out to be zero.
When Prime Minister was in Glasgow, he announced something which is called Panchamrit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what are those 5 principles or 5 commitments which he made in Glasgow?
So first and foremost was to achieve the net carbon neutrality by 2070. Second was to increase our renewable capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030 and to remove our carbon intensity by 45% by 2030 and to increase 1 billion ton of carbon sink. Sorry sir, I am not able to recall the fifth one.
And what by 2070?
So net carbon neutrality, yes sir.
Where are the Kachativu oil? Where is the Kachativu oil? Kachativu?
Sorry sir, I am not aware.
The conflict, I mean, it is an island which India virtually gifted to Sri Lanka, not her.
No sir.
You have the Pacific, you have the Indian Ocean, and you have a construct known as the Indo-Pacific.
Yes sir.
What is the Indo-Pacific? From where to where does the Indo-Pacific construct stretch?
Sir, Indo-Pacific stretches from the eastern coast of Africa till the western coast of United States and Latin American country, with the Southeast Asian being the center of the same.
And where are the Arakan Mountains?
Yes sir, Arakan Yuma and Pegu Yuma are the two prominent ranges in Myanmar, and their extension is also related to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Yes sir.
And Arakan at one place divides, it forms the border of Myanmar and India.
Sorry sir, I am not aware of this thing.
So you have taken Madhya Pradesh, you are from Madhya Pradesh.
Yes sir.
And MP is your first choice.
Yes sir.
You have Bihar which says, Buddhist sites. You have UP which says Buddhist sites. But MP also has Buddhist sites.
Yes sir.
Can you name a few of the Buddhist sites in Madhya Pradesh?
Sir, for first and prominent site is the Sanchi Stupa, and there are some temple in the Khajuraho group of temples as well. That in
More sites? There are.
Sir, Bharat Stupa is also located in Madhya Pradesh, in the district Satna. Sir, yes sir, I'll read more.
You are an engineer.
Yes sir.
And you like cricket.
Yes sir.
What is the technology used for ultra edge?
Sir, the technology used here is the detection of the sound. Whenever the ball passes through bat, there is a feeble sound which is being recorded, and through that ultra edge gives whether the ball has made any contact with the bat or not.
Where is that sound picked up from?
Sir, stump mic.
You have an association with Bank of Baroda.
So yes sir, my father is an employee.
What changed in Bank of Baroda after amalgamation of two other banks?
Yes sir, the Bank of Baroda has been merged with Dena Bank and Vijaya Bank. After that, it has become the second largest lending.
Bank of Baroda has been merged with.
Sir, sorry sir, Dena Bank and Vijaya Bank has been merged with Bank of Baroda.
There were a couple of other compositions you spoke. I let go.
Yes sir.
I thought I'll come back to, but now this is too much.
Yes, sir. Sorry sir. Yes.
Yeah, carry on.
Yes sir, there has been glitches in the internal management about how to divide the workload and how to make a unified culture. These are some of the issues that have come from the who will hold the key position and what will be the future structure of the higher management, whether there will be job losses or not, whether the new employees will be called as the Bank of Baroda employees.
To this amalgamation.
Yes sir, in general.
For every year.
Yes sir.
But do you think it's a good idea that government continues to be in the banking sector? Do you think the banking sector should be privatized?
So privatization has some pros and cons as well. The pros can be the capitalization burden of the government would reduce, and to some extent it is said that the efficiency of the bank will increase and the recovery of the loans would be better. But on the downside of it, the issue of the financial inclusion is an issue with the privatization, as private organizations are primarily based for profit purposes. So if government is able to secure this arena of financial inclusion and lending to the poor, then I think privatization can be a good thing.
Yeah, good theory. But on the other side, there is something called crony capitalism. What does that mean?
Sorry, sir, I am not. Thank you, sir.
What is the historic importance of Ujjain?
Sir, Ujjain hosts one of the 12 Jyotirlings of India, which is Lord Mahakaleshwar. It is located in the juncture of the ancient prime meridian of the India, where it crosses through Tropic of Cancer. Apart from this, it has one of the largest festive gathering in the form of Sihast that happens every 12 years.
Which computer defeated Garry Kasparov in chess?
So it was the year 1997, where IBM has created a computer called Deep Blue, which defeated Garry Kasparov.
And since then, computer technology has moved far ahead.
Yes, sir.
Is it not scary?
No, sir, I think it is a positive step, because that can help us to solve the complex problems better and move forward in our development process.
Is it not overtaking even human capacity?
No, sir, I think that human capacity is far beyond that of the computer, because we have the power of thinking and we created the computers. We can have the substitute. The mechanical work that is being bulky, the complex work, can be done by the computer, but to what use we have to put them?
We already have thinking machines.
So yes, sir, artificial intelligence is coming, but it is only thinking presently in the arena where human wants them to think. But yes, sir, there are apprehensions that this technology, if not utilized properly, can have very cascading consequences.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Excellent interview, Aishwarya.
Yes, sir.
We are all happy that our day is off to a very happy start.
Thank you, sir.
So, like everything, in terms of further improvements,
Yes, sir.
there are just two small, and about one of which I want to discuss with you.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you are absolutely there. All you have to, of course, do, and I'm sure you are aware of it,
Yes, sir.
is to ensure that you keep updating yourself,
Yes, sir.
and that as of 23rd of March, you remain supremely updated in all kinds of current events and issues,
Yes, sir.
including that day's newspaper.
Yes, sir.
Given today's interview, that is the only spot where your answer was not the one expected, in the
Yes,
sense
sir.
expected of quality.
Yes, sir.
And that day's newspaper, and in your discussion, it sort of
Yes, sir.
came out that you haven't read
Yes,
the day's
sir.
newspapers.
Yes, sir.
But ensure that as of 23rd of March,
Yes,
you do. Is your interview in the morning session or
sir.
after?
Afternoon, sir.
So you have time on that day.
Yes, sir.
Even if it were in the morning session, we would have insisted that make it a point to read newspapers, decide which headlines you want to refer to
Yes, sir.
in case a question is posed.
Yes, sir.
Because you know, obviously, you clearly know that further questions automatically come up
With the answer.
based on your own answers.
Yes, sir.
So in a way, actually, you can draw your interview to your strong points.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you know even that.
Yes,
So
sir.
you have come across as very well prepared.
Yes, sir.
We started with your birthday. It was very clear that you are all set, all very well prepared with all the details and all.
Yes, sir.
And that can give rise to discussion of overall women issues.
Yes, sir.
And the possibility is infinite. So try touching upon all of them. Yes, that is meant for you. The very reason it is kept there is it is meant for you. So like various women issues within India, within the various states you are associated with,
Yes, sir.
and also an overall global scene.
Yes, sir.
Then I made it a point to link it to climate.
Yes, sir.
Your answers are the right, but the awareness of the climate problem, that was what was to come out,
Okay, sir.
and how these sensibilities are related to them.
Yes, sir.
If we had more time, I'm sure you know that overall geography in general.
Yes, sir.
But in terms of interview, geography will translate into all possible discussion on climate change.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the scientific details, administrative measures, financial mitigation, and whatnot, all sorts of.
Yes, sir.
For example, I would have, if we had time, the next thing I would have spoken is what is called as global commons.
Yes, sir.
So what are global commons? And the human sensibility towards all these global commons, etc. And we could discuss Amazon.
Yes, sir.
The Great Barrier Reef.
Yes, sir.
And so on and so forth. They are not restricted only to one particular country. They have an impact on the ecological balance of the whole earth.
Yes, sir.
So keep yourself well prepared. But the point here is, today you have discussed the issues very well.
Yes, sir.
It shows a good grasp. You have given very correct references and examples when various discussions were on.
Yes, sir.
It was only on some of the questions by Madam that your voice lowered.
Yes, sir.
Many of those questions were fact-oriented.
Yes, sir.
Out of those, you were not able to answer some of them.
Yes, sir.
But I wonder whether that began to affect your confidence and the voice lowered.
Yes, sir.
Try not to do that.
Okay, sir.
It is perfectly okay in the interview not to be able to answer some of the questions.
Yes, sir.
That is not what the panel is looking for. What the panel is looking for is how you handle yourself when you are not able to give the answer.
Yes, sir.
So the name of the game is in staying cool. The poise is a beautiful word.
Yes, sir.
Maintaining your poise. In fact, smiling and saying, "I'm sorry, madam, I don't know."
Sir.
No impact. There should be no impact on the confidence level, or that confidence reflects in voice.
Yes, sir.
But then again, the plus point of your interview today is the moment we shifted from madam to sir, your voice was back to normal.
Yes.
So you didn't linger in the past,
Yes, sir.
which is okay. Good point. Newspaper I have already said. Among many other points, just two ones. Not that it's a big deal,
Yes, sir.
but in one of the answers you said India is not undertaking nuclear this thing because of some technical problems.
Yes, sir.
What are technical problems?
So one is that we do not have abundant of nuclear fuel presently. We have to import them. The abundant fuel that would be coming would be thorium in the third stage, which is in huge stock. But presently the technology for that is not developed. So that is the thing I was talking.
Indo-US civil nuclear deal. We have agreements with many countries, including France, Australia, even Mongolia. In fact, India is undertaking uranium extraction cooperation with Mongolia.
So, but we are not a member of nuclear supplier group, so there is a limit to that.
Now it doesn't stop us.
Okay, sir.
That one-time waiver has been given.
Yes, sir.
And in the Indo-US civil nuclear deal, India insisted that we must have the freedom to enter into agreement with other countries.
Yes, sir.
US doesn't allow that under their act. If US has a civil nuclear deal with some country, that country is not allowed to have a similar nuclear deal with other countries. But India insisted and got away with it, of course.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just thinking of what are technical. You said technical or technological. Second part was, I hope kind of you remember that now we have enhanced our target for nuclear energy production from 2% of the total to 10% of the total.
Yes,
So it's not like we are not doing.
yes, sir.
The biggest one is Jaitapur project, and the question may come.
Yes, sir.
Jaitapur is actually world's largest single nuclear power project at one place. There are 5 plants to come up. That is in cooperation with France.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, in the light of rest of the excellence of your interview, I found it a bit surprising that you didn't know chronic capital, the meaning of the
Sir,
term.
exact. I was not able to frame how to frame that answer. I have it in mind, but I have read about an economic survey as well.
Yeah.
But I was not able to frame this answer.
I thought that sort of stopped all further discussion in tracks.
Okay.
I thought he had something more in mind
Yes, sir.
based on that chronic capital.
Yeah.
The moment you said you can't define the term,
Yes, sir.
the further discussion stopped, right? That is
Yes.
right. My impression was he was heading for further discussion.
Yes, sir. I'll try to brush up more, sir.
So I'm expressing my surprise
Yes,
actually,
sir.
because
Yes,
the term is not very difficult.
Yes, sir.
It is not exotic term. It is not picked up from economics and as some tough, very difficult
Yes,
term
sir.
or something. Otherwise, like I said, you are excellent.
Yes, sir.
Also expect questions on Madhya Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
because although you are saying Uttarakhand as your home state,
Yes, sir.
you said no to home cadre
Yes, sir.
and first choice is to Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
That is very clearly a jugaad to get Madhya Pradesh cadre.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and our best wishes for you. That
Thank you, sir.
may you get Madhya Pradesh. But therefore, questions on Madhya Pradesh also will be put.
Yes, sir.
Lots of possible questions on chess.
Yes, sir.
As always, we were short on time.
Yes, sir.
So I just happened to pick up only one area which relates to also like engineering part,
Yes, sir.
IT, developments in IT and chess, etc. We combine that.
Yes, sir.
But it could be India's grandmasters
Yes, sir.
from Vishwanathan Anand, etc. Women grandmasters
Yes, sir.
and the global scene, the present champion,
Yes, sir.
so on and so forth. Keep yourself ready for
Yes,
all person. Cricket also we did touch a little bit,
yes, sir.
but that again is a vast area where much more can come.
Yes, sir.
Finally, just two small points. Like I said, just two small, and I said one of which is actually something I want to discuss.
Yes, sir.
But one small point, see if you can maintain eye contact with the whole panel as
Okay,
you
sir.
talk to them. Just try that.
Yes,
If you
sir.
can, it's okay. If you can't, it's okay.
Okay, sir.
But what is generally happening is you are talking only to the panel member who is
Yes, sir.
asking you the question.
Yes, sir.
As you discuss, actually, you are.
Sir, I earlier used to do this, but I was advised not to do this. That's why I changed it from my earlier
I'm
approach.
expressing my shock really.
Yes, sir.
Who are giving such advices?
Yes, sir.
Interview is your interaction with the whole panel.
Yes, sir.
And in fact, your skill lies in involving the panel in discussion.
Okay, sir.
And a physical way, objective way to involve the panel is by looking at them as you
Okay,
talk.
sir.
And in fact, contrarily, even you can sense it.
Yes, sir.
Just to find this out, watch on the video. Imagine you are speaking with her. After about 15 to 20 seconds, rest of the members will begin to feel left out
Okay, sir.
if you are talking only to one panel member. So I am really sorry.
Yes,
With
sir.
all due respect, whoever advised
Yes, sir.
this one, it would be better if you can maintain eye
So
contact.
I'll keep that in mind.
with the point is, when the question is being asked, be attentive to the member who is asking the question.
Okay, sir.
Also, when you start your answer, start by looking at the panel member who asked the question, but then make it a point to look at all of them. As you conclude your answer, back to the panel member who asked. That is how, and in a spontaneous way, nothing artificial.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, so I now wonder whether someone also told you to sit in a rather rigid position with your hands
Yes, sir.
practically tied on your lap, right?
Yes, sir.
Wrong suggestion again. Utterly wrong, objectively wrong. It's not just about differences of opinion. Our suggestion is be natural.
Okay, sir.
Also speak in a natural way.
Yes,
So
sir.
when we speak in a natural way, there is some little
Hand movements.
gesticulating. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Let it be there.
Okay, sir.
In fact, if you part of your mind is always engaged in ensuring that you sit like this,
Yes, sir.
the brain will not work at its best
Okay,
for
sir.
focusing on the issue. Part of brain is continually engaged in issuing commands which ensure that you keep sitting like this.
Yes, sir.
So no rigidity really.
Yes, sir.
Just be natural. And like I said, excellent interview. Even today we would call it 194.
Thank you, sir.
It's already excellent up to
Yes,
the
sir.
best of our judgment.
Yes, sir.
The score will be 194.
Thank you, sir.
And then, as I always like to say, if it is 194 today, Then on 23rd of May, you should aim at the best score. That is
Yes, sir.
215. 215 on 23rd of May.
Sir.
And you will get it if you ensure that you are supremely updated in current issues as of 23rd of May.
Okay, sir. I'll brush up more.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This might will do marks.
So
Yes, sir.
great
Like
distance.
this many now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So Varanasi is surrounded by Burma and the
Okay, sir.
Burma and Armenia.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is
Yes,
it's expected.
Here are notes by the
Vice
panel
President
members.
College of
sir. I was not able to recall because
याद कर लेना.
yes, sir.
Actually,
Yes, sir.
mock meeting का ही purpose होता है. Small things.
Yes, sir.
So Aishwarya, all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
These are the notes.
Thank you, sir.
And after the interview, do let us know how it went on.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.